everyone and a lot of readers have like their own different interpretations of the cards. And the longer that you read them, the more these like certain cards mean to you. Like it might mean something different to one person than the other. So with the tarot cards and then with my like intuition that I just feel like I have, like things that I just think of and whatever, in my readings, I'll go off on that and kind of give my clients like a little knowledge about what could be coming in with the future or like what problems. And I keep it all positive because I'm like so anti-negative. So every reading that I have is positive. It's like a happy readings.
It's more than just your output, more than a bike. When you hear your shout out, you know it's all right. Put on your magic pants and let's go. We're cruising into the power zone. Clip in, set yourself free. Come on and take a ride with me. Know what you need to know and what's it all about. Everything you need, it's on the Clip Out.
Welcome to the Clip Out Podcast, episode 247. This is Crystal O'Keefe.
And this is Tom O'Keefe. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. So, I don't know. Normally we have some cute personal anecdote, but I'm out.
That's because you're crabby.
I am crabby.
We did our photo shoot last weekend.
That is true. Well, we shared one.
Yeah.
Last week. I guess it was 2 weekends ago.
Oh, was it 2 weeks? Okay.
But yeah, we shared. So we will have more of those coming for people. Those were fun. The dog snuck into a few.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Our little podcast puppy. She's so adorable the way she just jumps into the frame. Yeah, we've got some good ones.
Yes. So
I can't wait to share them with you guys.
We can update the website.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a few years since we've done that.
It has. And it's been like, I don't know, between the two of us, almost like 75 pounds.
Also that. Yeah, totally. So, well, I guess what, pray tell, do you have in store for people this week?
I don't even want to talk about this Rust stuff, but we got to.
Okay.
And studios, they're going to be reopening. We have like some more updates on that. There was an outage this week that caused outrage.
Gasp.
I know, right? The new Barry dude. Yeah, he's on Mad Money today.
Okay. Well, by the time you hear this, it will have already happened.
Oh, yeah. Friday when this comes out, it'll already have been out there. We're going to visit with John Mills.
Of course.
We're going to, John has been stirring up some shit this week. He had a video banned.
A banned video. Goodness.
So we're going to talk about that. We've got some supply chain stuff to chat with him about, some Nordic track news. And then, of course, all of our instructors are everywhere. We have a visit from Dr. Jenn. This time it's how to not stay up late. And then we have a visit from MetPro, how to be a caretaker and still take care of yourself. We're going to talk about artist collaborations and a bunch of in case you missed it stuff.
Awesome. Well, before we get to all that, shameless plugs, don't forget we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeart, TuneIn, wherever you find a podcast, you can find us. Presumably you already know that because you're hearing me.
Hello.
But you can also, while you're there, follow us so you never miss an episode. Maybe if you just drifted in, checking this out for the first time, you should keep checking it out. And if you really like it and you want to help us out, it doesn't cost you a thing. While you're on your podcast server of choice, maybe leave us a review so people that come along after you know that we got the goods.
That would be delightful.
So you can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/The Clip Out. While you're there, like the page, join the group. It's a great place the group, especially to start conversations and engage with not just us, but other listeners. It's like the OPP, only less so in a good way. And you can always watch these on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Clip Out. And finally, don't forget, we have a newsletter. You can sign up for that at our website, theclipout.com, where you can stay up to date on things and you can get all the links and things of that nature sent to you in a weekly digest. So there's all of that. Let's dig in, shall we?
We shall.
Peloton in the news.
So the New York Post We will let you decide your opinion of the New York Post, but please, by all means, don't tell us. We
Exactly.
don't care.
Tell the New York Post what you think of them, not
New York
me.
Post has an article about how Peloton hid rust and corrosion on bikes that it sold to customers. Now, I think this is actually them repurposing a tidbit from the Financial Times.
It is.
An article that was roughly the length of a Russian novel.
Yes, that's about right.
That was a long article.
Right.
Holy smokes. But I think this was buried in there, and they kind of pulled it out so they could beat up on Peloton a little bit.
Yeah, and it was actually, to that point, not only repurposed by the New York Post, but several different outlets.
Yeah.
The reason I mention that is because a lot of people did say, hey, the New York Post is very sensationalist. I have no doubt.
It is, absolutely.
But here's the thing. The information that it's based on is accurate and real. It came from the Financial Times, and it's based on actual reports that they obtained. So,
Right.
like, this isn't just like somebody said a thing. And that matters because if this really happened, we need to hold Peloton accountable. So my understanding from reading this is that there was direction that it was okay to send out bikes if they were lightly rusted. However, bikes that were not lightly, they were very rusted, were also sent out. And then they didn't do much about that. And it was also labeled Operation 10 Man. That's pretty tacky. Just the operation name is pretty tacky.
Well, and then name it after something that rust is also.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it just says like, oh, we know exactly what we're doing and we're
Right.
doing this on purpose.
Yes.
I mean, if nothing, even if only bikes that went out were lightly rusted, the fact that this is named Operation 10 Man is just really gross to me.
Yeah, I don't disagree. So I'm just curious, like years and years ago, long time listeners of the podcast.
Everybody's been bringing this up.
Will remember that there was a guy claiming that his bike was rusted, and his bike looked like
it looked like it had been at the bottom of an ocean for 50 years.
Yes, it looked like he had traveled forward in time and found a bike that was like 300 years old and then brought it back in time to show to people. Like,
yes.
I cannot fathom what anyone could have done to have gotten their bike that rusted that quickly.
Agreed. And not only that, but it became a huge issue. This was actually back in 2017 for anybody who's counting.
Yes.
I know we have a lot of new listeners, so I want to make sure they know
Yes.
this happened years and years ago. It turned into a whole thing. There was they put together a special website for it. It was called like Rust Bucket or something like that.
And they were like really trying to like lean on the pressure to publicly shame Peloton.
And it worked.
For this sole rusted bike that we were all kind of giving side eye to.
Yeah.
It was like, that doesn't seem right.
The thing is, I still feel that way, funny enough, even hearing this now, because this sounded like this is from 2021, this article, this report. This is not something that happened in 2017, 18, 19, 20.
Totally. So, I also tend to land in the same place that they're not connected, because if they were, you would think we would have heard lots of reports of this in the 5-year period.
Yeah. It's not that I've never heard another instance of it, but I have seen more instances of it in the last 12 months. There was a huge swath of time between 2017 and this year where I heard nothing.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it started coming up again. But it was happening regularly enough that I actually believed it this time.
Sure.
So for whatever it's worth, this is another thing Peloton's got to deal with. And regardless of whether you like it, you lump it, whatever, it happened. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. It sucks. And I really hope they get their shit together.
Is there any inclination or indication as to like why suddenly this is an issue?
No, there isn't. I'm not hearing anything. There's been some theories that have surfaced. One is that they were using bikes that came back and they were repurposing them and kind of pushing them off as new. I have no proof, none whatsoever that is a thing.
That's the theory out there, right?
Mm-hmm. And maybe they sat in a warehouse for a long time, and
I
know that if there's no liquid, how is it happening?
Well, and also like with everybody like on 10-week waits for Pelotons. How is anything sitting in a warehouse for any amount of time?
I got nothing, man.
Yeah.
I got nothing. Like, to me, it just does not make sense. The only thing I can think of is the long shipping times to get from Taiwan over to the United States. I mean, they were literally on an ocean on a boat for God knows how long.
Yeah.
In the middle of the worst of it, you know.
Right.
Maybe that had something to do with it. I mean, it's a total guess. I really don't know. I hate to even give that theory because I'm afraid, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of tired of just people grumping at me like I'm the one causing all of this. And it's like, I kind of just don't even care. Isn't that awful? Like,
yeah, no, I get it. Like, it's like you get a lot of attention. And so it's like, and no matter, you're reporting a story and then people are mad at you because they don't think it's true, or how dare you say that when you're just like, I'm just telling you what people are saying. Like, that's literally the whole purpose for our existence.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like,
and you know, for the people that are like, I just want to talk about the happy stuff. Me too.
Yeah.
Peloton, get your shit together so we can go back to talking about happy stuff. I would love that.
Yes.
Like, love it.
And we do have happy stuff.
There is a lot of happy stuff coming up.
Yes.
We just started with this because, I mean, Rust. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And if anybody does want to check out the original version of the Rust Gate or Rusty Gate, I don't know, but that was on episode 32 of the Clip Out. That's how long ago it was.
Oh my God!
That episode came out on December 1st of 2017.
There you go.
So that's how long ago we've been reporting on this. So we've been at this for a bit now.
A little bit.
Yeah.
That was a great story, though. Whew, that got crazy.
It did.
We reported last week.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. We reported last week that the studios were getting ready to reopen soon. And in the middle of all that, look what you came across on buried on the Peloton webpage. Yeah,
this came from one of our listeners. You know, they saw this over on the Peloton studio page, coming soon. What's interesting is that it was up briefly in the middle of the homecoming website that is no more.
Right.
But it'll be back up shortly. And it was an FAQ mention. That was it.
Yeah.
So then this pops up. But the one on the FAQ said September of 2022. Actually, I lied. It said fall of 2022. Okay. So the reason that's important for anybody who's newish, Peloton has a very, very strong history of calling fall all the way up until December 20th.
Right. They're very calendar based and literal with their translation or definition of fall, because they had told you would get your tread in the fall of whatever year that was.
2018.
And you literally got it on like what, December 19th?
Yeah, it was either that or December 20th. But but the point being that even though they said fall, we cannot assume September. I made that mistake with the tread. Do not do that, guys. But at any rate, here's the thing. It says opening soon.
Yeah.
The fall is not soon. That's 6 months away.
I guess maybe considering how long we've been dealing with the pandemic, it's soon.
Pshaw. Pshaw, I say. I don't know. I'm taking bets. Is it really the fall, or do we think it's going to happen sooner? I've got everything going from people. I've heard everything from people. It's going to be homecoming. They got people saying it's going to be next week because it's 2 years to the day that it closed. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think that's how these things work.
I said next week. I meant next month, sometime in March. But
gotcha.
I don't know. I don't know.
Next week is next month.
Oh, yeah. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
That's how time works.
Totally.
So I don't know. It's interesting. We will see. We'll see if fall is soon. Let's find out, guys.
A website called protocol.com has an article, What Peloton's Warehouse Workers Really Think About All Those Layoffs.
Yeah. First of all, shout out to St. Louis. Of all the warehouses in the country, they could have focused on St. Louis.
That's probably because of the Clip Out.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah. But actually, I thought this was a great article for anybody who's like, oh, more negativity.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This actually was a fairly positive article in that no one was happy about it, but they all saw the writing on the wall.
Right.
And they really loved their jobs, and they're just hoping they get good jobs that are going to replace what they had at Peloton.
Sure, absolutely.
And they all really loved their jobs of delivering Peloton to people. So I send good thoughts out to these folks. I hope everybody does get a new job very soon. Some of these people that were interviewed, they've already had interviews for jobs, and it's looking good. So cross your fingers.
Well, based on data, there's never been a better time to be looking for a job. Not
Absolutely.
that, you never want to get laid off, obviously, but it seems like it's a really good job market if you're a worker. So there's that.
Right.
Maybe they can start delivering some tonals.
That'd be cool.
So when we look back, we will tell our children 2 stories, or our grandchildren 2 stories.
Mm-hmm.
1, what we did during the pandemic, and 2, what we did during the great Peloton outage of 2022.
Do you think it's going to start with Peloton or the pandemic?
Probably Peloton.
I think
just
so.
because we'll be very concerned about clicks. It's all about the clickbait.
It's been a while since there's been a really big outage for Peloton. And I don't think it was a Peloton thing because Slack was out too, like across the world.
I saw somebody say it was related to the AWS system.
So maybe it was like the node or whatever technical term.
Yeah. Is that the little creature that ruins Domino pizzas?
Yeah.
The node?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
It's
not at all.
Oh, okay.
No. I don't even know if that's
Avoid the node. That's our advice to Peloton.
I truly don't remember what the technical term is. I just know that there's like places each company lives, and AWS, I'm pretty sure they like share the server space,
right.
And it's like they become virtual servers. So like if they share a virtual server together, then both of them could have been affected by it.
Yeah.
So I think whatever it wasn't a terrible long time, but it did cause a lot of stress for people who had, 1, never experienced it.
Yeah.
And 2, I saw that there were some people that they didn't know that it was down for hours. And so they were trying to fix their bike. They were on the phone with... May was one of those people, May. And she was on the phone for a long time trying to get it fixed. Poor thing.
Yeah.
And how did customer service not know?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
come
true.
on.
You think they'd be like, oh, it's system-wide, it's not your end.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we all trudge on.
Yes,
We're back. Came back up a few hours later.
We made it to the other side.
Yep. I saw some marked safe from Peloton outage yesterday. So
and I saw a press release from Peloton where Barry McCarthy blamed John Foley.
Oh,
so
okay.
There's
that seems in keeping with how the weekend went.
Zing! If it ain't broke,
they say you can always blame the last guy for 6 months.
Yeah. That's typically how that works.
Yeah.
So for our listeners in the UK, or as I like to say, the UCK.
Oh my goodness, we haven't brought out the UCK in a long time.
I'm going to make it a thing.
You're going to make it a thing?
I am going to make it a thing.
Fetch isn't a thing.
Yeah, right, because the UCK is far superior. So anyway, Peloton has expanded their partnership with Vitality, which I guess is like some sort of HMO. I don't have those because I got socialized medicine over there, but
it's insurance of some kind.
Yes.
I don't really know all the details about it, but if you scroll down, they had some cool stuff here. Basically, it's going to be part of Vitality at Home, and they're going to offer Vitality members extended free trial access to the Peloton app. But now, they were already doing that. And now they are going to be launching the first of the kind partnership for Peloton in the UK, where they will be able to buy the bike, Bike Plus, or Tread and get rewarded with, get this, up to 40% cash back based on the number of Peloton workout days that they record on a monthly basis.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can get up to 630 euros back.
Wow, that's a pretty cool deal.
And that's on the bike. It was double that for the Tread.
Right.
So very cool. Yeah.
Looks like we're going to have to move to the UK.
Yeah, right. And also that was from one of our listeners as well. Thank you very much.
The New York Times has an article about Peloton's new CEO and the tough road ahead.
There's a lot to unpack in this article. I mean, a lot. If you have not read it, please sign up for our newsletter and get this weekend, because there is a lot to read here. The thing that struck me as probably the most interesting, I don't have the right word for it.
Intriguing?
Yeah. We'll go with intriguing. Is the proposed pricing changes. So Bear, We don't have John anymore. Bear. He was saying that he would like to see the price of the bike up front be lower, but then raise the monthly fee. And so from $39 to, he said, let's say $79 or $80. So a lot of people took that to mean, and Tom, I want to see if you read this the same way. A lot of people took that to mean that it was just like the bike is now if you buy it on finance, that he was just raising it in line with that. And I was like, but the difference is you never stop paying it. And maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe he was saying that like you do that for a couple years and then it goes down. But I did not interpret it that way at all.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to interpret it, and it was kind of vague, and it sounds like
probably on purpose. Sure,
and it sounds like almost like they're moving towards like a cell phone model, right? Where it's like you get the new iPhone and then you use that, and then But if that's the case, then they need to keep making new versions of the bike to get people to keep re-upping at that price, and then what do you do with the old bikes when you come and get them? I don't know. I know, initially when they were rolling out the Bike Plus, they thought they were going to get this influx of bikes that they would have a resale program on. And then that didn't come to fruition because people could sell them so easily
on the open market
rather than, returning them to Peloton for a credit. So I don't know. Like there's so many questions with this trial balloon that he floated that it's really hard to make any sort of real assumptions about what it means.
It is. And, this is the new world we're in. I no longer feel like I have any kind of feeling about where we're going to go with it.
Yeah.
Before I would have been like, this is what I feel like based on the past. And I don't have that feeling anymore.
Well, I will predict my feeling on it is where the path we will take is whatever path they think is going to generate the most revenue for them.
Well, yeah. I know that.
But I mean, I think that like, and if they think they can get $80 and you'll keep paying it even when your bike would have kind of been paid off, then that's what they'll do if they think they can get away with it.
Still less than the cost of a gym, and you're still having multiple people in it. So I think there's a good point with that. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't think this is going to go, even if this goes into place, I don't think it's going to affect people that have already bought the bike, because he specifically said for going forward. So if you're on the fence and this is like keeping you from buying a bike, I don't think it should. I think you should buy it before this happens.
Yeah, like I don't think that they would. I'm not saying that they'll never raise the price for people who already have a bike. I mean, obviously subscription prices go up, Netflix
or Amazon.
Yeah, but I think that they would. I don't think that they could get away with upping the price to that level if you've already purchased your bike outright.
It doesn't seem likely.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at, because that's the thing. We don't know what this guy's going to do.
Right.
At the end of the day, he was a CFO. I know that like he wasn't just a leader of other companies. He was a CFO. So he is laser focused on money.
Right.
And it's a different world. It is a very different world. There were a lot of zingers in this article. A lot. I did not like it. I did not like it at all. It was very aggressive. Very aggressive. We are a family, and I don't think I'm really a fan of, we're not a family, we're a team. And if you don't catch the ball when we throw it to you downfield, you're cut. You're out of here.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I've always I've never really liked when people say we're a family, because you're not a family. I mean, because it's like, I don't know about your family. I mean, we're both Irish, but I come from a very large family, right? I have I legit have 40 first cousins just on my dad's side. And as large as our family is, we've never laid off 2,800 of them.
That's true.
Right?
That's
and
true.
so...
No, that is an excellent point.
So when people say we're just a family, I'm like, well, we're a family. Like, oh, well, you're a family, I guess, as long as the company's chugging along well. But as soon as there's a problem, you ain't a family anymore. So like, I've always...
I think that's a fair point.
Yeah.
I guess the one that really got to me the most was the whole Jill was a problem and John already fixed it. I didn't like that.
Yeah,
it was just tacky.
There was definitely some inartful phrasing.
Yeah.
In some of the things he said. But I also I think that's his shtick, right? He's tough love. And that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And I think he's saying batten down the hatches and justify your existence.
Well,
this is the paradigm we're working under now.
This is I don't know that I love this version of Peloton. I loved the version that had a heart. And speaking of Tin Man, company doesn't have a heart right now. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not in love with this version. So.
I think you're going to have to separate your definition of Peloton.
I'm not there yet.
There's the front-facing Peloton of when you're on the bike, and then there's the corporate Peloton. Like, you don't have to like NBC to like The Office.
That is absolutely true. But
and I think that's what you got going on here.
I'm not there.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't know if I can ever get there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I think that's just where we're at now.
Yeah. It'd be nice if they'd let us interview him. I'd like to ask Bear a few questions.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, I don't either. They're never going to.
Fully listened. I'm not saying to every episode, but fully listened to the show sometimes.
He was a fan.
I promise you, Barry's never heard of us.
Yeah. I bet you they're keeping us away from him.
Yeah. Unless he's got a Google alert on his name. But he's popping up in so many places at this point.
Yeah.
That
he's got people for that.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to start reading like the New York Times and the Washington Post. I'll get to the clip out later.
All right. What's next? Oh, yeah. Speaking of Barry.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Barry, as we alluded to earlier, he's going to be on Mad Money. Well, it's tonight when we're recording, but it will have already occurred by the time you hear this. So that makes me worried. I'm like, oh, are we going to have
to record again?
We're going to have to re-record a segment because he's going to say something.
Barry, for God's sakes, don't say anything sensational.
Send everybody into a tizzy. Like,
could you just keep it calm?
Yes.
Until like next Tuesday.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
It'll be interesting. I'll be reading for updates. And then, yeah, that's all on that.
And then we have another top level Peloton person moving on.
Yeah. This might have been previously announced, but she just posted such a nice little email here. Jessica Kleiman, we were privileged enough to meet her.
She was very nice to us.
Very, very nice. She says, as she closes out her chapter at One Peloton this week after an incredible 4 years, she wants to thank all of her teammates who have made this the best job she's ever had. It's been fun, uplifting, and inspiring, and it's also been challenging, emotional, and stressful, particularly during the constant roller coaster of the last year. Can't even imagine.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't have done it any other way. She will miss being part of the Peloton team and seeing all of her amazing global communication colleague faces every day, and she remains a passionate member who will be cheering from the sidelines. She looks forward to recharging, reconnecting with friends and family. Good for her for getting some time to herself.
And you have that shirt.
I do have that shirt. I'm pretty sure I have like everything she was just wearing.
Yeah, probably.
Because that was the original collection.
Yes. So how cool was it to see Tonal in the Super Bowl?
So cool. Serena Williams, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so many other athletes are using Tonal these days. How many pounds are you up to, Tom? How many have you lifted? You're like well over 2 million now.
Yeah, I'm like 2 and 2.4, something like that.
So cool. And I get to lift again. It's in the middle of my program. So I am doing 4 weeks to fat loss 2. And I love that it's like having a personal trainer, and it tells me exactly how much I'm going to be lifting, and then it changes the weights automatically for me, and it also increases the weights automatically for me.
And sometimes it decreases the weights automatically for me.
That's true, because sometimes it will be set up. The program that you're doing will be set up to give more reps. Yeah. And because it's more reps, it will give you a lighter weight. It's amazing.
That's a positive outlook to have on that.
But it's true.
Yeah. But also, no matter your experience level, Tonal has thousands of personalized workouts, from strength training to HIIT, yoga boot camp, bar, and more, that help you unlock your strongest self.
And if you would like to try Tonal, you can do so for 30 days in your own home. Tonal is so confident you'll love it. They offer a full money back guarantee. You can get Tonal from $63 a month and 0% interest over 48 months.
Visit Tonal.com for a limited time to get $100 off when you use promo code TheClipOut at checkout.
That's TONAL.com, promo code TheClipOut.
Tonal, be your strongest.
Run, lift, and live with John Mills.
Joining us once again via the magic of ZoomTube, it's John Mills. Hey, John, how's it going?
How's it going? It's happening.
Oh, the energy. It's good.
It's right.
It's good.
Right.
I'm glad you've got the energy like you've been a little bit of a troublemaker this week.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Look at you.
Oh.
I didn't know you were like that, you know?
Well, I didn't
crap.
realize it was going to create problems. Well, actually. But you know, when I first made that parody, it was like a good thing.
It was a good thing.
Totally. And we should probably say for people that aren't watching, so they know what we're talking about.
Right.
Like you made a parody video about Barry McCarthy's staff meeting, and you incorporated footage of Morgan Freeman's first staff meeting from the classic movie Lean on Me.
But didn't you repurpose an original parody? That this isn't this from one of your original ones that was just like I don't remember what the joke was in that one other than it was just hilarious seeing all the different instructors.
Yeah, the original parody was a Chase Tucker parody. And so it starts out with me just taking a Chase Tucker class, and he's just so it was just so difficult. The class was so difficult and he was such a great instructor. I start wondering like who trained all these instructors to be so great. And so then I, think back in time, and that's when the parody starts, the real meat to the parody starts. And it shows John Foley going to Morgan Freeman or Mr. Clark and trying to get him to go train his instructors. And he finally convinces Mr. Clark to do it. And then all this scene kicks in where he's like talking to the instructors and he's, hard ass and all that. So that was the original parody. But since the New York Times dropped that article and Barry McCarthy was like really like, talking, direct. Like
very
so
direct.
Yes.
Direct.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to say it. He was very direct. And so I thought that aligns very well to the ending of that Chase Tucker parody.
It does.
It does.
So then you tried to share it in the OPP.
Denied.
You got your hand slapped.
Yeah, they denied that. I guess I understand. I guess it could have started something.
I kind of don't. No, because if you're going to go out there in public and you're going to say that stuff on news networks, you need to take some shit.
How many shitty things do people say about Peloton and the OPP? But
right?
This is a bridge too far.
Dumpster fire. And this is hilarious, and it got cut down. What?
Everywhere else I posted it, whether on Instagram or, in my group or page or on my personal, Facebook, everybody's just cracking up. So
it's funny.
No malice or hate came from it. It was a lot of laughter.
Yeah, I wonder if that is because there's already like this kind of like feeling of fear over at Peloton right now. And so they denied it because they are afraid that Barry is going to see it and blame whoever let it go up. You know what I mean? Because I don't know that he has the kind of sense of, I don't know. He might have the kind of sense of humor. I'm saying I truly don't know whether or not he has the sense of humor to appreciate that. Because I think if you had done that exact same thing for John Foley, he would have laughed. Right. Like, I think he would have laughed at it. And we don't really know what to think of Barry other than what he puts out there in his interviews.
It's very direct. Everything I've seen so far.
I'm not picking up on a sense of humor from Bear. How about you?
It might not. Yeah, that they may have known something I didn't. Right. And that's why. They didn't let that go on the OPMP. I don't know.
I think they're like, they're firing people left and right over here. It ain't worth the risk.
I'm not taking any chances.
I'm not going to be the one to let that video go.
Well, I don't blame them.
I don't either.
But it does make you give a little side eye, like I said, compared to some of the stuff you see in there. But
It does.
Okay. So then you were also kind of talking this week in your group about all the rescheduled deliveries that are afoot.
Can we hear this in your Martin Lawrence voice? Can you do? Is that possible?
I don't know if I can do the Martin Lawrence voice, actually.
Okay.
But I wrote it out as I assumed it would, as I heard it in my head. Because you have to translate these things, right?
Right.
These things. This is a blog post at Peloton. You got to translate it. And it was Barry McCarthy. And he was very direct.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It sounded like he was basically saying, whoever did logistics before, they screwed up and now we're going to fix it, which that was kind of a little harsh.
A little bit.
Harsh.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I got from it.
Yeah. Let me just read it for everybody. This is just the first one. I won't read all of them. As many of you may know, our previous, and this is bolded by John, previous leadership team made certain decisions during COVID regarding the supply chain and operations that did not work. We're sorry for what happened and now stand committed to taking a better approach. I mean,
right.
Zing.
Right.
Zing.
Yeah, it felt like zing. Yeah, that's what it felt like. Mm-hmm. And then he goes on to just be very, open with, and people are going to get rescheduled and you're going to see some delays and we'll compensate you for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're hitting the reset button, which they got to much faster than the pause button.
Yeah. It was, to me, it was just another indication of what I've been hearing from Barry, which I know it's not all, everyone doesn't like it. As an investor, I'm kind of liking the Barry.
No, I get it. I get it, John. I do. It's like, from an investor, it does make sense, right? This dude is all about brass tacks. He is going to get in there. Right. He's going to say what he thinks, and it's going to be all about making money. But man, as the person who fell in love with this company, yuck, 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 double yuck. Don't like it. Mm-mm. Nope.
No, it's like, I know. I go, ooh, and then I go, yay. Ooh. Yay. Ooh. Like, I keep doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the pragmatist here. I'm just like, I mean, given what's been going on, like there's things that they need to adjust, and there's going to be a lot of.
You can adjust it without being snotty.
I mean, you can, but I think at this level, like, he needs to send a message top down that says, and this is how he's doing it. Huh? And so I get that it's going to rub some people the wrong way, and I think it's purposeful.
I agree with that.
I think when he hears people saying they've been rubbed the wrong way, he's like, good, rub your ass on the way out,
Yeah, he's like, well, this will have already aired, but he's supposed to be on Mad Money.
Yeah, we actually talked about that just a minute.
In the opening segment, we talked about that. Yeah. So
because we were begging him not to say something that would force us to come and re-record the segment.
Come on, we don't want to come back in down
here. That might happen.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Based on what I've been reading, that could happen.
Yeah. It could.
He's going to be like, I think these bikes pedal the wrong direction.
Starting tomorrow, they're all $1,000 more, and you will be paying $200 a month for membership fees. The end.
Yes.
So, Barry, how come all the sales on the apparel? I told him to get all that out of here. Yeah. We're starting all over.
We're hitting the reset button on that, too.
Hitting the reset button on apparel, too.
And I'm an instructor now.
I told them to get me some shoe stat.
Yes.
We don't know what he's going to say. I don't know.
I got my magic pants all picked out.
There's no magic pants anymore. The love is gone.
Yeah. We can't call them magic pants anymore.
Oh, my God. Ugh. I'm distraught. I am distraught.
Well, I guess we should pivot a little bit to Hydrow. Because they actually have a rower out, and
look at Zing.
I'm learning from Barry McCarthy. Barry McCarthy's he's gonna get all mad and be like, "I can't believe you'd say that." I'm like, "I learned it by watching you, Dad."
Gloves are off, Barry. Let's bring it.
Yeah. I'm like, look, Barry, you might know how to make gazillions of dollars, but you want to get in the zinger war? Game on, bitch.
We were nice before. That is all over. You want to be throwing out messages about people I love? Let's go, Barry.
Well, based on this, maybe he would have loved my parody.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
And a lot of he really might have. There are a lot of people that are like that. They're like, no, that is fair. Absolutely.
He wouldn't have laughed. He would have just been, that's exactly right.
Yes. Yeah. He does impress me. He's the kind of guy who doesn't laugh. He's the kind of guy that goes, that is funny.
and then he would follow it up with, John gets me.
Yes.
John gets me.
If I laughed, I would be doing it here.
Insert laugh.
Yes. I have a personal assistant. They do all my laughing for me.
Donna, could you do some chuckling?
Donna, I think I'd like to start with a chuckle and then segue into a medium guffaw. Yeah. and then round it out with a chortle, and then fix the supply chain. Thank you.
And then fix the supply chain.
Yes.
That'll be all, Donna.
Yes. And then you're fired.
You didn't do it in the right order, Donna. Yeah. I threw you the ball in the end zone and you dropped it. You're cut off the team.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
my
goodness.
gosh.
Woo.
Share this on the OPP.
Oh, I don't think I can.
John's like, I'm not
You
going to
might get banned. I'm not doing that.
You share in the echelon group. They'll let you. It'll be seen by tens of people. So anyway, back to the topic du jour. Hydrow slaps iFit with a patent lawsuit over NordicTrack rower.
This is crazy.
What is that? Did they own the right to paddles? What is going on?
Well,
I don't know.
mean, from what John wrote here, they changed barely anything on their design, and then all of a sudden Hydrow has an issue with like everything. Did I sum it up pretty well?
You summed it up right. Well, it was already odd. Okay, so I posted about this a couple of weeks ago that NordicTrack releases a new rower, and then they say it's the RW900, and I'm like, didn't they already have an RW900? So then I go look it up, and sure enough, they already have that one. So I'm like, why is it a new rower? It's the same model.
Yeah.
So they added a few new features and just re-released the same thing they'd already released.
Okay.
And that re-release is what got Hydrow to then go, oh, okay, you're patent infringement. We're suing you now.
But if it was already out, how can they do that? I don't get patent law. I swear they're making this shit up as they go along.
I don't get it. The features, I don't remember exactly what those features were, but it seemed like 4 very basic things. It was like nothing that I was like, oh, this is awesome. It like seemed like very simple things. But anyways, we got another lawsuit now.
Right.
I feel like patent law is like buying a lottery ticket. Like it's just like it's like, well, soon maybe you'll win. You know,
might as well try.
Right.
And if you win, you'll make a lot of money. If not, like, I mean, we're on retainer. Whatevs. You know.
But when I saw it, I thought, okay, Peloton's about to come out with a rower.
Right.
Wait a minute. Is Hydrow about to start suing Peloton?
That was where I went to. I was like, is there any way that they put out a rower without one of the rowing companies being like, you know, we invented strokes?
The only thing I can think of is they've been working on it for so long. Long. Is it possible that they filed patents before everybody else got them out on the market?
Yeah, could be. Okay, but here's the other thing that is all odd to me. One of Peloton's manufacturers, Rexon, I think.
Yeah.
Rexon manufactures rowers for iFit and for a bunch of other people, and they have their own rower patents.
Okay.
So they produce their own rower, and so out of the same manufacturing plant, there's these rowers being, manufactured for a bunch of different people, which I don't know where the Peloton rower is being manufactured out of, but I'm assuming it could be through Rexon as well.
Sure.
So, how does this work? Like, what is patentable? I don't know. And they're all coming from the same place.
This one gets the blue screws. This one gets the red screws. And that's how we keep them non-patented.
I put the red screws in that one. Damn. Go get it back.
You've just ended the company.
Oh my gosh, this is getting crazy. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
We'll learn more about it.
Yeah, we should start. Soon. We should start a betting pool, like an over/under on how long it takes before Peloton gets sued after they release their rower.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking that might happen.
I say 3 weeks.
But I don't know. I don't know anything about what can be. I don't know.
I know, because I think they're making it up. I mean, if it was already out on the market, and I don't even have a horse in this game. I don't care about Hydrow. I don't care about NordicTrack. Like zero passion for either. Right.
Right.
But if it was already out and all they did was add features, I don't understand.
Well, I guess if one of those features was patented.
But to John's point, they were all simple.
Yeah.
They were simple things.
But people patent simple things all the time, though.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's true. I was also thinking that it's possible that, iFit is like having financial issues right now. They're struggling and there's a lot going on with them. Like, do some of these corporations just use the courts just to put the pressure on companies that are already struggling? Like,
oh, I can't think that they would do something like that. That's just not fair.
That's not very nice.
I sense some sarcasm. A little bit.
Maybe it's just that.
Yeah, no, that would not surprise me at all. Just to kick them when they're down. Maybe we'll be the straw that breaks the camel's back here.
Yeah, I guess if you throw enough money at it and kill them, like financially, when they're already in that very vulnerable position. Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. It's reasonable.
I don't know.
And then finally, you noticed an announcement for the Big East Women's Tournament.
Yeah.
I had to use yours because you so nicely put all of the information in one place. Everyone else just had the photo. And I was like, I love John's announcement because it's so complete and concise.
Well, I love Jess Sims.
I know.
And now she's going to be the in-arena host, which she already is for the New York Liberty in New York. But now she's going to be in Connecticut at the Big East tournament doing the same thing. So at Mohegan Sun Casino. So me and Erica go there often. And so this is kind of exciting for us. We're thinking, I haven't gotten tickets yet. So I'm not saying I'm going, but we may.
He's saying he probably will, but he doesn't want to commit.
Yes.
Also, he doesn't know who's going to hear this and decide they want to see him, and he's going to leave that for a later date.
He doesn't want to be inundated with fans when he's just trying to watch the game.
No. But no, I truly, I haven't really told Erica that I want to go yet. And so I don't want to say I'm going. And then she'd say,
we have plans that day.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm trying to but anyway, if I can go, I'm going to be there.
Okay. Well, if you do get to go, we want to hear all about it firsthand from you.
Oh, yeah. I'll let you know. But yeah, I'm all excited about it. I'm excited for her.
It is. It's very exciting.
She's in a different venue, in a different location, doing a similar thing, all for women's basketball still. I think it's all amazing. And anytime I hear advertising and press for women's basketball, I actually love that. I mean, I've always been a fan of women's basketball for the structure. And I love the way they play because you get to see much more of the fundamentals. Right. And so
I wouldn't know because
sports.
I watch zero sports.
Yeah.
But I love that you're excited about it. And it sounds like a great thing.
Oh, yeah.
Does anybody throw a bucket of confetti on the audience? That's my question.
Yeah, no.
Then that's not the kind of basketball I'm into.
He only likes the Harlem Globetrotters. That's it.
Yeah, no bucket of confetti.
Yeah. You want to impress me? You want to impress me? Then go on Gilligan's Island.
Okay, that's going to be hard for Jess to do. Yeah. I mean, they don't exist anymore.
And here I am.
The one thing that was very odd to me the first time, I just moved here to Connecticut. So this is 24 years ago. And I just moved here and I decided to go to a UConn women's basketball game. And I went with a friend of mine and Erica's there. And we get there and the game starts and I just start, they do the national anthem, all that stuff. And I just sit down. And everybody's still standing up. And I'm like, what's wrong with these people? The game had started. They're playing.
We should move so I can see.
Right. And then someone told me, John, stand up. John, stand up. I'm like, what? You're not supposed to sit down until they score. I'm like, really? What?
Well, they better get on it.
And I knew nothing about the UConn women at the time. So I'm like, this could be forever. I don't know. But they're a really good team. So they scored really quickly. And then the whole audience, the whole arena sat there.
Wow. Well, I guess that is a cool thing to show support.
Is that unique for that team, or is that a women's basketball thing? Or
I believe it's unique to UConn women. I never been to any other arenas watching college basketball, but I learned that in 1998. I was the one lone person in this crowd of 12,000 people, and I'm the only one sitting down.
John.
Well, now these days you could just say it's a political protest. And you'd be like,
I refuse to stand up.
You're the one who's in the wrong.
So I learned, and every time after that, I stay standing. Well, and then I look for someone else who's just like me.
Yeah, then you get to scold them. How do you not
are you
know
doing?
this?
That is so rude.
You
That
are
is
the
so rude.
nicest person ever. I bet you search them out and you go over and you're like, hey, just so you know.
You're not supposed to. Not supposed to. Say.
That's kind of frowned upon here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, John. Until next week, where can people find you?
They can find me on Facebook in my group or page, Run Lift and Live. They can find me on Instagram, Run Lift and Live. They can find me on the Tickety Talk, Run Lift and Live, or they can find me at runliftandlive.com.
Awesome. It was good to see you, John.
Yes.
Good to see you. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Getting the psychological edge with Dr. Jenn.
So joining us once again is Dr. Jenn Mann, licensed marriage, family, and child therapist and sports psychology consultant. She was also a 5-year national team member in rhythmic gymnastics and the sports psychology for USA Gymnastics. It's Dr. Jenn. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
All right. We have a listener that needs your help, and I'm really curious how you answer this because I know it's something you struggle with too.
Know me too well. Is this about buying Peloton apparel?
No, that's a great guess, though. A great guess. This is from Mish Ander, and he says that he is staying up too late. He says it is like the working parent's revenge for a lack of free time, and unfortunately, it's highly ineffective too. What do I do?
You know, it's funny. I was interviewed for a story about what they now call bedtime revenge.
Oh.
And this is particularly common with working parents who, at the end of the day, you finish your work, then you have all this time with your kids, you have time with your partner, and then you're exhausted and you want some time for yourself. And the only time to get it is once everyone is asleep. And yes, this is something that I struggle with myself. I love that nighttime when everyone is asleep and I can have me time. Also, for me, it's a very creative time. I wrote, I think, 3 out of 4 of my books between the hours of 8 p.m. and 4 a.m.
Wow.
So I totally get this. One thing that scared me straight was I did a master class on sleep where Matthew Walker, who hosts the class, is a sleep expert. And I do have to say he scared me pretty bad because he talks about the importance of sleep, because I'm someone who I can go on very little sleep. I can operate on 3 to 4 hours of sleep for like a decade or two.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. But what he talked about is how these toxins build up in your brain that make you more likely to be vulnerable to Alzheimer's, to dementia, to all kinds of neurological degenerative diseases. So that is certainly an issue to be aware of. And also he even cited some research that talked about how even like getting a vaccine, that when they had people getting a flu vaccine who had slept less than, I believe it was, 6 hours of sleep a night, that the vaccine was not as effective.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, he looked at a lot of different studies that really scared me. So if you need motivation, I do recommend the masterclass on sleep with Walker if you want to be scared. But in terms of how do you get that time, I do recommend looking at your schedule and looking at where can you get alone time and how can you make boundaries with your family, which is always hard because these are the people you love the most. So It's hard to say like, hey, I need time for myself. I remember after I gave birth to my kids when they were like toddlers, when they were babies, that I had a ritual when I needed time to myself. I would get in the bathtub and I would watch Sex and the City in the bathtub. And like my bathtub is still my thing. Like I love watching a show in the tub with my Epsom salt, my rosemary Epsom salt. So for me, that's a great self-care thing. But I think that he needs to figure out what are his top 10 self-care activities that rejuvenate him and where can he fit them besides 2:00 in the morning? And can he carve out time on the weekend if he doesn't get time during the week where he can have some alone time? Because what this usually is really about is alone time. Now, there is one other factor. And I learned this from Matthew Walker, and I get no money for Masterclass for any of this, but it's not an ad. But what he said is that 25% of people are night owls, 25% of people are morning larks, and then the other 50% are somewhere in between. They're kind of, I think they're normal. I'm a night owl. Like, left to my own devices, I'll be up till between 2 and 4 a.m. And then I would sleep, until like 10, 11 in the afternoon. So a lot of the time we're kind of fighting our natural biology, and we kind of have to acknowledge that. And if you don't have kids, or if you have a super flexible job, you may want to alter your schedule so that it can work with your natural biorhythm, if that can also work with your family and your lifestyle and your loved ones. But if not, like most people, then you got to work with it and try to be consistent about having a bedtime. And maybe what you do is you curtail the bedtime so it's not, 3 a.m. Instead, it's midnight, so that you have some time to yourself, but it's not excessive.
It's kind of compromising with yourself, basically. Yeah. That's good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all that. Until next time, where can people find you?
At Dr. Jenn Mann, 2 N's on Jen, 2 N's on Mann. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat. And also I have a InStyle magazine column every week called Hump Day with Dr. Jenn, where I give advice about sex and relationships.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Instructors in the news.
Well, Alex Toussaint had quite the showing at the 2022 Ruffles NBA All-Star Celebrity Game.
He sure did. I hear that the last class that he did before the game, he said, "Y'all watch, I'm going to win that thing." And then he did. He not only did his team win, he was MVP of the whole dang thing.
I saw a couple clips, and it was like... He knew what he was doing.
He did. I mean, at one point I saw John Mills posted that he was running the whole thing. He was moving the fastest on that entire court. He would zoom down and zoom back. I don't really know what was happening because we don't watch sports. I just know he made it look really good.
There was running and baskets being made.
Exactly. So there were points being scored.
That seems to be net positive.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to him. It did seem like people were really surprised at how good he was.
Yeah.
They expect him to be in shape, but that it wasn't just about in shape. It was like he was really good at basketball.
Like at an elite level.
Yes.
Good. Yes, yeah. Absolutely. He crushed it. He absolutely crushed it. Congrats to Alex and the whole team.
I had the same reaction from people when I competed in that hot dog eating contest.
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were really surprised.
I mean,
they were just like, we knew that you were a glutton, but this is more than we could have ever hoped for.
This is next level.
Yes. Yes.
It's good, Tom. Congrats.
Robin Arzon was featured on CBS Morning News.
Was it morning or evening?
Oh, I thought it was morning. I don't know.
I'm confused. I thought...
Maybe it was morning.
Oh, you know what? You know what? There's two separate things. So I think what happened was she did this news thing, and then she was on CBS News. Then she posted on her story that she was going to be on the app last night.
Okay.
So the next image that you were going to pull up, that's what that story is showing. Oh. So it's like a replay of this. I'm getting it now. I got it.
Okay. They probably recorded it for the app, and then it was got enough hits that they're like, oh, put it on the actual news.
Yeah, let's... I think if it's Robin, they knew that was going to happen. But at any rate, she had a great interview, talked about her kind of backstory of how she got into fitness, how she had never been an athlete when she was younger. Now look at her go.
Yeah.
Being that fitness icon to millions is how they list it. It is very impressive.
And then while we're talking about Robin, she also had a post that you found interesting.
I did find this interesting. You might remember from some of our past conversations that we have talked about. I mean, instructors have told us in various ways, not just you and I, but through various means, that they script their rides.
Right.
Well, Robin did a very big post saying she does not script it. She said during a recent interview, she was asked if Peloton instructors script out their classes. She said, what we do is quick notes and bullet points as reminders for things we might want to include. We do not script out the entire class. I just find that interesting because I have heard the exact opposite from other instructors.
So you even came across a ride recently where it was live and the closed caption seemed to be showing up before the instructor was saying the words.
Yes.
And so that leads me to wonder if perhaps Robin Arzon's been around long enough to where they changed the process, but they're not going to change it for her. Like they're like, well, what you're doing works, and we're not going to mess with it.
She's like above all, like she helps the content be decided for the other instructors because she's had as a higher job title. So I would think they would all at least she would be on the same page as what they're doing.
Right.
Like even if she does it differently, you would think she would at least be aware they're doing it differently.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And as far as the words being different, it's also possible there's some kind of delay now.
Sure.
Like, are the live classes not truly live anymore?
Are they just slightly time shifted?
Yeah, because I was taking a tread class the other day and I wasn't paying attention to what the caption said, but the clock in the studio had a different time remaining than what I did. It was off by 3 seconds consistently the entire time. So that could make the caption show up a little off, you know?
Yeah, theoretically. And, and also maybe there are some instructors that choose to script out their entire classes.
That
like
could
maybe
be.
they feel more comfortable knowing it's all been decided and they don't have to just riff and say something that they would regret later.
That's possible. I don't know. It's just weird because one of the examples that I was given for those classes being scripted was when Robin announced her pregnancy. That was the example given for it being scripted. So I just think it's so weird. Just fascinating little things I find.
Yeah. And then Tunde was featured on the Today Show.
She was. She got to do a whole interview talking about, of course, her upcoming book that's coming out and talking about her past in fitness and how she was not an athlete when she was younger and how look at her now. Very cool.
The Clip Out.
Joining us once again via the magic of ZoomTube is Angelo from MetPro, here to answer all of your nutrition questions. Hello.
Hi.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back.
Well, thank you for joining us. We have a special question for you today. It's a little more philosophical, and it comes from our listener, Karen Diodanto. She says that her nutrition struggle is how the hell to take care of herself and her body while she's taking care of her wife who has esophageal cancer. How does she find the strength to do it all? She's working out every other day, but the nutrition piece isn't good. She's doing Blue Apron meals 2 times a week, otherwise just trying her best. Oh, well, poor Karen.
First off, and I have incredible respect for any caretakers out there. That it's taxing both physically and emotionally. So good on you to at least recognize the importance of including yourself in that equation. Priorities have to be priorities. So the first thing is you have to give yourself a little bit of a pass and recognize that in your life, in your priority hierarchy, it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. Beyond that, a lot of the same beneficial life hacks for my clients that are, have very particular either weight loss or health or fitness goals will still apply. And it comes down to brevity. So what you want is strategies that are going to produce the outcome of you getting clean, healthy meals frequently without it being a cumbersome task that's a large time sink. So since you're already doing Blue Apron, I think you're on you have a great path there. What I would recommend is standardize it. So have certain meals throughout the day that you prepare for yourself and certain meals that you can just mentally take off your plate. You don't have to have that bandwidth. Now, you don't have to do it this way, but I'll just give you a for instance. For instance, with some of my clients, I have them either using either a chef or a meal prep service or a Blue Apron or a similar, or they're just going to the grocery store, the higher end grocery stores with a nice deli section where there's pre-made proteins, vegetable medleys, quality carbs, and just getting a pound of this, a pound of that, and keeping it in the fridge at home. There's a lot of little ways to be time saving. And I'll often have a client say, okay, for lunch, here is your lunch. This is your routine, and you're going to get these things prepared for you, and we're just going to take it off your plate so you don't have to think about anything, and your lunches are taken care of. I want you to make your own breakfast. And while you're making your breakfast, set aside an afternoon snack for the day. I like that because it's very time managed. Most people are able to eat a clean, healthy breakfast without it being a really cumbersome task. If you're having breakfast, preparing a mid-afternoon snack, it won't take long. It won't be too difficult. You can just add that to the docket in the morning. So I'll tell you what my routine is right now in the mornings. Right now, I have some oatmeal that I actually just microwave. I put a little splash of water in the bowl, my oatmeal in it. I throw it in the microwave. I put a little bit of stevia in it. I like the way that tastes. And then I have a vegetarian protein shake that I use. And I have those two items together. And the reason that I do that, and I also have a few almonds just sitting out in a container on my counter that are always right there. The reason I do that right now is because it takes me exactly 90 seconds to have that breakfast ready to go. I know because while I'm putting the oatmeal in the microwave, I'm grabbing a bite of my almonds and I'm putting my protein powder into a little cup and mixing it up. And I use the same spoon that I mix the protein shake to eat my oatmeal, and I have it down to a science, and it literally takes me 90 seconds. Why? Because my schedule is such that the first part of my day, I'm rapidly responding. I have clients that have questions. I have some special needs that pop up, some diet adjustments, programs. So I'm really busy the first hour or two after I wake up. That's why I have a routine around brevity in the mornings. I'm not saying that you need to go and have that same breakfast, but find a routine that's consistent for one meal a day. For an afternoon snack, it's just a matter of having the ingredients in your house. I really recommend keeping it simple. Personally, I like to do apples, nuts, and jerky. Some people just do fruit and nuts, and that's a great combo because it's really quick and simple. Think about snacks that are not only healthy, but also you want the attributes of being quick to prepare or pack with you. You want them to be low perishable. That's especially for our listeners who are on the go and outside of their houses. You want something that's portable and it's not highly perishable. So you can literally just keep it in the car, in the glove box or whatever, and that are not messy and have a lot of cleanup. So do I love cottage cheese and strawberries as an afternoon snack? Yes, I do. I think that's a great afternoon snack. Do I recommend it? Not for clients that are on the go. For them, I want them to have something that's a little bit quicker, a little bit less cleanup. So something like an apple and a handful of almonds works really good. So if you have that strategy, then what you can do at dinner is give yourself a little bit of breathing room and say, I am going to not eat something unhealthy for dinner, but instead of defining exactly bite for bite what that needs to be right now, just be resolved to have a clean, consistent dinner. Wherever you're at, whatever ingredients you're using, just avoid sugars, avoid a lot of fried stuff or general junk food. And if you do that, now you have a whole routine just by hitting breakfast and afternoon snack, a whole routine in place. And you'll be amazed at how that will give you energy throughout the day because you are a busy person and you need to keep your energy up. You need to take care of yourself. And the answer is not just not eating.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for all those tips. We greatly appreciate it. And
absolutely.
If people would like stuff tailored for them, where can they find you?
netpro.co/TCO.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And Karen,
Thanks,
we're thinking
Karen.
about you.
Absolutely.
Peloton artist collaborations.
I feel like we've talked about this for like 8 weeks in a row, but there's an artist collaboration with a tribe called Quest.
It's finally happening this week. It's just because it got bumped and we found out about it a little bit before because they had also put out like kind of a teaser like they did with Taylor Swift.
Right.
Then everybody figured out who it was. Then they kind of bumped them for Mary J. Blige. Then now it's finally their week. So there's like 6 different classes. People are super stoked, including John. We should have teased him while he was on. He says he's going to every single class. He is so excited about it. I'm so happy for him. It's so cool whenever they mix up the artists like that so that you have like different people being excited about different collaborations. I really love that.
Absolutely. It's also nice to see Peloton is letting people say tribe again.
True. You know, I know we don't have a picture of it, but I should also mention that Peter Tong was also a collaboration this week. And it was some of the instructors from the UK. I guess that he is a huge deal in the UK. He has been a person like a DJ over there. It's not DJ. No. Like club music.
Oh, like EDM?
Yeah, club music for like a long time.
Gotcha.
He is like a god of music over there. So it was very exciting for people who listen to that kind of music, grew up listening to it. So just kind of on that point, it's cool that they have such a variety.
Absolutely.
In case you missed it.
We have a new collection that has dropped in Europe and will be hitting here shortly.
It actually hit.
Oh.
It already hit. This was like from 2 days ago.
Oh, gotcha. Never mind. You see how much attention I paid, especially to apparel.
Yeah, but you know, I did include this for a reason, though. I thought it was interesting. This is the first time in a long time that there has been apparel that is unique. And so the gingham check is very different than anything that they've done for a long time. And there was a lot of stuff that dropped, but this one just kind of caught my eye in particular. People are buying it up very quickly. I'm seeing it all over Instagram with the instructors. All the instructors are wearing it. They're very excited about it.
Oh, awesome.
I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, totally. While we're speaking of apparel.
Yes, this week. So by the time that this airs, it'll be the last day. So if you hear this
on the day it comes out,
then you will want to go jump over to your computer and buy this right away. But if you spend $150 in the Peloton store online, you get a Peloton mug. And if you spend $250, you get a Peloton mug and a sweat towel set and a water bottle.
Oh,
pretty cool.
Dennis Morton had a bit of a throwback post.
He did. He talked about how it was his favorite ride from April of 2021, a 30-minute white striped ride. And he says it was one of his favorite bands and one of his favorite rides. I thought it was just a fun post.
Yeah, totally. The German instructors want you to know that 5th season is upon us.
What is 5th season, you ask?
I do ask.
Well, it is Carnival. It's called 5th season in Germany.
Okay.
So Peloton put together some workouts with Marcel and Eric that are going to be unique classes, and those are coming up very soon. We have one on the 24th of February. So again, by the time you hear this, it'll have happened. And that is a run, and there's also a ride with Eric coming up as well. So if you want to celebrate 5th season, you can do so. You can party yourself fit.
And then finally, there's a new Instagram frame for German instructors.
Yeah, I just feel like this is strange that it looks so different than the American one.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means that they're going to update the American one, because a while back they had where you could like edit it and do things to it. Then that feature went away, and I thought it was going to come back, but it hasn't yet. So I don't know what it means, but right now there is a different frame if you have the German instructors.
Interesting. So. Yeah, I wonder if like it's going to roll out, or if they're going to come up with like different looks for each country.
That's what I'm wondering.
So there's an instantaneous identifier that this ride is American, this ride is Australian, etc.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
Checking in with the Peloton community.
So joining us today via the magic of ZoomTube is Erica McLean. Hey, Erica, how's it going?
Hey guys,
Hi.
Going good.
So glad to have you here. So we have to kind of go back in the archives. Now, let me ask, how did you first find out about Peloton, and when was that?
Oh gosh. It had to have been about 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
And one of my good friends from college was Peloton and still is Peloton obsessed. And I've been like a teacher and a trainer, exercise physiologist for a long time. So I've been at gyms and, training facilities. So I never really did much home workouts.
Yeah.
And, my friend was just like harping on me, like, you need to get a Peloton. So I did. I started off with a bike and like immediately like was obsessed. Allie Love was like my best friend.
Does Allie know that?
I DM her all the time. So I hope she knows. And then, they came out with the tread and I'm a huge runner. So a lot of people asked me, are you going to get the Peloton tread? Because, you love to run. And I had another treadmill, but like really wanted the Peloton tread. So a year and a half later, my husband surprised me, got me the tread, and I'm literally hooked. I have my Bex Gentry flocking flamingos behind me.
Awesome.
And Peloton is just, I love it. Like, I wish, love it.
Do you have the tread or the tread plus?
I actually have the tread plus.
Okay.
A collector's item.
It is a collector's item. Who knows when it's going to be back on the market? I have no doubt it will be, but it's like, the big question mark right now. I love mine. I wouldn't give it up for the world. So
same.
Well, but if you got the world, you would have all the other tread pluses. I'm just saying. I'm gaming it out.
That's true.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom.
No problem.
Super helpful. So, okay, what is an exercise physiologist? I saw that. I hear you say it, but I don't know what it means.
So basically, in a nutshell, it's just like a kinesiology type major. And a lot of athletes and a lot of people like in the science field that don't want to be, I don't want to say doctors, but they commit to being exercise or want to be an exercise physiologist, sports trainers, stuff like that. Like Matt Wilpers would be a dope exercise physiologist because he's just amazing at what he does. So you could either go the training route or you could go to the hospital route where I ended up going, and I did cardiac stress tests for both inpatient and outpatient. Big Poppy was there. For the community over at one of the hospitals in Boston. And I was there and, training at the same time and teaching at the same time. And I'm like, I should just become a nurse because I'm in the hospital. And so that's from there I went to becoming a nurse and kind of combined everything together.
Okay. Right. And what kind of training? So are you still a trainer? Do you do you still train people?
So since COVID hit, I stopped as I was training a lot of people in my home gym.
Okay.
And when COVID hit, it kind of put a damper on it. And I was also too at a training facility as well, and they closed down. So since then, I haven't trained people myself, but I'm just like a big, huge activist with fitness and all of that good stuff. It's like in my blood. So
you've always been an active person. You've always been.
I think I have undiagnosed ADHD. Like I can't sit down. So yeah, super active. Yeah.
I mean, hey, use it to your advantage, right?
Weaponize.
Yeah.
That's a good thing that's a good way to twist it because, some people don't know what to do with all that energy. So might as well get it out with exercise. That's fabulous.
Exactly.
And so, all right, so now we got to switch gears to these tarot readings. Now, tell me about that. I need to know the background. Where did this start? How did you get into this?
Okay, so I'm obviously like, I have like what is it called? Like a hat of many hats. I wear many hats, I guess, other than all the things that I do. But ever since I was young, like I've had tarot cards. My great aunt was a tarot reader and I was just like super fascinated with all that stuff. But then, you grow up, you go to college, you start off in the real world and you're just too busy.
Yeah.
And so when COVID hit, I was still in the hospital taking care of patients, and so much like spiritual and tarot and like, this sounds so weird and woo woo. And you're going to be like, Erica, you're like the weirdest person ever. But like mediumship stuff came, which happened when I was younger too. And it was just kind of like telling me like, you need to do a different route. Like, I think like it's time to like spread your wings and do a different career. So last January, I left the hospital and I focused more on tarot stuff and spiritual stuff and took classes and all of that stuff. So I kind of dove right in there. And that, along with fitness, has been like my saving grace through this pandemic.
Okay, so explain to me how a class works for tarot, because like so much of what people read and interpret from tarot, the little I know about it, so correct me if I'm wrong on any of my understanding here, is that it's like a bit subjective because it's how you interpret the reading. So like, how do you take classes on something like that?
Exactly. So the tarot, and I have one right here, so I'm just going to show it to you.
Okay.
The tarot, there's many different tarots. Like I have the Golden Girl tarot, like the Disney villain tarot, like you name it, I have them. But they consist of a bunch of cards, major arcana, minor arcana, and you just have to basically like be familiar with the card spread and know like kind of what the cards mean. But everyone and a lot of readers have like their own different interpretations of the cards. And the longer that you read them, the more these like certain cards mean to you. Like it might mean something different to one person than the other. So with the tarot cards and then with my like intuition that I just feel like I have, like things that I just think of and whatever, in my readings, I'll go off on that and kind of give my clients like a little like, you know, knowledge about what could be coming in with the future or like what problems. And I keep it all positive because I'm like so anti-negative. So every reading that I have is mostly is positive, you know, and it's like a happy readings.
Okay.
But what if you see something that's not, I mean, not everybody has happy things in their future.
Yes, I know. So that actually, to be honest, hasn't really happened to me yet because I think I keep such an optimistic like outlook on the whole thing. Yeah. And if it did, I would have to say I would never say to somebody anything negative, never, because it's not my job to. And the whole reason with the tarot is it's kind of like a way. It's a way that you could go, if a path that you could take if you chose to do one certain thing. So you don't want to like. You always want to like remind the person that you're reading that, you know, this is just what could happen if you do X, Y, and Z.
They still have control.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And that's what everybody needs to know because I feel like it was so woo-woo back in the day and people were scared of it. And now I'm seeing more and more people like so interested, like people DMing me. Like I even have like reality stars, a couple of them that DMing me and they're like, oh my gosh, can I have a tarot reading? And I'm like, sure, you know, I mean, because I feel like everyone's just like, they get so excited and it's something not as weird. It's not like I'm pulling out a Ouija board and like being like, all right, let's like see what we have here. You know, it's not like that.
Okay. I feel like all I know is what I see in the movies and stuff, but I feel like with tarot cards, it's always like the bad cards mean good things and the good cards mean bad things. It's like somebody pulls out and it's like, oh, it's death and there's a corpse hanging upside down. They're like, no, that means rebirth. Everything's cool. And then it's like, and then you get the one that's like butterflies and they're like, well, you're fucked.
No, I know. And seriously, though, I like the death card. The death card is all about rebirth and it's like starting anew. And when I get that, it's kind of exciting. And that's what I tell people when they're freaking out and they're like, oh my God, what card is that? You know?
I would be like, that just sounds like something you say to make people feel better. It's like, oh, like when it rains in your wedding day, that's good luck. No, it's not. Good luck would be it not raining.
I know. You're so right. You're so right. But I mean, along with the cards that I get and with like intuition, like I just feel like I'll think of things. And like when I was younger, I'd be like, why am I thinking of that? Or I'll have like random dreams that like literally things have come true after my dreams. And I'm like, what was that? So I feel like with the cards give me like a little bit of help. I take it with a grain of salt, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So how do you do tarot readings like online? Because I thought you had to like touch the cards and do a thing. See, we know nothing. We know nothing about this. So I'm sorry you have to educate us.
Tarot put out COVID protocols. Yeah. So it's
the COVID protocol. So, you know, for some of my like close friends, like lately, since things have died down, like, you know, in the past couple months would come to my house and do it. Or I'd go to friends' houses that they'd have a couple people over and whatever. But that's like as much as I do. I won't have like a stranger in my house because I don't know. But I do a lot of Zoom and I do a lot of FaceTime. But the thing is with the cards, and a lot of readers will tell you this, that some people don't even like other people to touch their cards. Like they would rather almost them pull them themselves because it's kind of like what they think they should pull. When I'm one-to-one with someone, I for sure let them pull. But it really doesn't matter in like the grand scheme of things. Some people might tell you it does, but for the most part, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Nowhere.
Fascinating. So could you do like a reading for like Peloton? Is that a thing? Can you do that? Is that possible?
Yes. Like I have things come to me all the time and I'm like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And I'm like, oh shit, like that did happen, you know, like things that I think of right now, like something that I was thinking today. And like, I don't want to go out and say it because if it doesn't happen, I don't want to be like, oh, you know, Erica McLean said this and it didn't happen. But I mean, things will just come to me, especially like when I'm like running, because I like, it's like almost like meditation. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I do have a lot of things like outlooks for it. And then I'm like I said, I'll look back and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I totally called that.
Okay. Well, let's hear some Peloton predictions. Come on.
Okay. So
you could be the new Peloton prophet.
Yeah.
If you get this right.
If this doesn't happen, you know, it will happen in the future. But, you know, Bex Gentry is one of my girls. She doesn't
amazing.
really know it. Well, she does, but she doesn't, you know. And I love her. And I try to take her live runs. And so I was taking her 45-minute endurance today. And I'm like to myself, Bex is getting engaged. Like she's going to the Canary Islands this weekend or for Christmas. And I'm like, I just have like all day, I could just have this feeling that like, this is going to happen to her. Now, whether it happens in the Canary Islands or whether it happens in like a New York bar in like 4 months, I don't know. But I feel like it's something that's going to be happening like so soon. Like she's like right there. So I feel like there's a lot of good news coming for her.
Okay.
Should we date stamp this? So in case it happens.
All right. So this is
between the time we recorded and the time this airs. People will know.
This interview is taking place on Thursday, December 23rd. So just
December 23rd.
Yeah. Look at that. Tom's got it up there.
I got it up on my
like
phone.
I said, like if it doesn't happen on that day, I don't want to be like, oh, you know, she was wrong. But I just feel
she's
like
saying don't at her. That's what she's saying. Don't at me.
Yeah.
She's like only remember the ones I get right.
That's right.
I have like a feeling that there's just so much more coming for them.
Yeah.
And I know they were talking about the rower, and I do think that's definitely something that's going to come, you know, into fruition within the next year. I definitely do see that. But I feel like there's going to be a lot more stuff, like maybe even on the treadmill, like more things, because I know they went into the boot camps and they have that, but I feel like there might be something else and I can't put my mind on it, but I just feel like it's such a big thing right now. Everyone has one. And I feel like there's going to be, and I'm going to draw some cards too, just to help me.
Okay.
Sure.
But I feel like there's almost going to be, I mean, not like another type of boot camp, but something else. And it could be compared with like yoga or something like that.
Okay.
But I see a lot of new things like John Foley, I'm always roading him and being like, John Foley, just hire me on the tread.
Yeah.
I'll just like teach a class. I'll teach the dopest 90s class because I love the 90s. And I also don't know if there's going to be like another partner coming in. Like I see like another female type energy coming in to kind of like make everything more, like gloss everything, make things more prettier, you know, and more attractive. Not that it's not attractive right now, but just come out there and it's like, wow. And then there's more people.
So like, are you seeing that as like specific to the tread, or are you saying like Peloton in general?
I'm seeing Peloton in general.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the tread is going to have a lot more acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just have that feeling. I just think more and more and more people that I talk to are just getting it. My cousin just got the tread. One of my best friends just got the tread, and they are like, it's such a big commodity. I think that the Tread Plus 2 is going to make its way back. I do at some point.
Okay. So we've got the Tread Plus coming back. We've got some kind of female energy. We've got something new coming with the tread. Okay. What else? What else are you thinking?
All right, let's see what I have here.
Okay.
I think that this year in 2022, when we go back, everything in Peloton is just going to flow easily. And like, you know how we had that whole thing with the Tread Plus and how, you know, they stopped selling them because of the tragic accident that happened and everything. I feel like it was just like a wonky year for Peloton. And for Peloton, for everyone, for like everybody. But I feel like 2022 is going to be like a dope year for them. And like I said, I think more things are going to happen. And I think that in this year, I think they possibly might get the Tread Plus back. And it's just the things are going to flow. And I think you're going to find exciting new things happening with the instructors, like new things coming up. I think there's going to be more engagements. I think a couple instructors might have babies. Like I just see like fun, exciting stuff happening that the community is super psyched about.
Wow. More pillow babies. You think, so now do you have any instructors who might be on that list? Like, because we have a lot of instructors that have gotten engaged. We have a lot of instructors that are either just got married or will be married in the next year. So like, is there anybody on your list? Because I know people are really rooting for a Ben and Leanne baby. Like that's going to be the most beautiful baby. Like they're
definitely going to have a baby. I like picture them having a boy, but like not until the end of 2022, like getting pregnant. I think they need to get married and they need to like have their fun, you know, go on like a super fun honeymoon. But I think you'll definitely hear news for a baby for them, like maybe either next year at this time or maybe next January, February-ish.
Okay.
Same thing with Allie Love. Like I feel like Allie Love's still enjoying her time. She's got so many things that she's good at, but I think in the next year, you're going to hear something about that as well. Sometimes I feel like Robin's not done either. And I wouldn't be surprised if she...
Like another baby?
Had another baby.
Holy cow. Now that's groundbreaking right there.
That's a hot take.
Whoa.
I wouldn't be, and it might not happen, but I could see possibly, I think she's an amazing, besides being an amazing coach and like the things that she says that just like you get out of a class and you feel like amazing, like mentally too. I just think she's fit the role as a mother, like is doing a super job and just loves it. And I just think that it is a possibility. I think I could see it being on the table for them.
Okay. And when you say 2022 is going to be a dope year for Peloton, like, are you thinking that some of this like legal stuff will go away? That'll kind of smooth itself out. Maybe the stock market, the stock might go back up, or is that a possibility?
Yeah, like I'm seeing them just like having a better year, like all around.
Let's hope.
And like less negativity, you know?
It's been a rough one, so that would be good.
Yeah, I really do. I think this is going to be a great year for them. Let me see what else did I see for. You know, I do see that there might be an instructor. I don't know who. You may hear of an instructor walking away and taking on a new career.
What?
Oh.
So I don't know if that's here. I don't know if that's in London. I don't know where it is. But, you know, in this year, 2022, you might see someone just stepping down.
Okay.
All
right. So we've got Robin and her husband potentially having a baby. We've got Ben and Leanne potentially having a baby the end of next year, or getting pregnant the end of next year.
Yes. Pregnant, yes. I don't see them rushing.
Right. Okay. Allie Love, same thing, sometime in the next year. Then we've got a more positive stock market. We've got more positive news just for Peloton in general, and potentially an instructor walking away. Now, are you getting a feeling of like tread, bike, anything like that?
Well, when you asked me, the first thing that came to me was tread, but then I'm thinking no, bike. So I don't know if it's someone that does both.
Oh,
I don't know, because I don't want to be like guess on this one, but I just see someone, and I don't see it being like a bad walking away because they're mad at something. I just think that there's something better that they know that they have to go and accomplish.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Tom, do you have any other specific questions for her? Like about the readings? You're good at thinking of stuff like this.
I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
What about, do you have any?
Will we finally get a Monkeys artist series?
I feel like that's a no.
Monkeys? Oh my gosh. I would love the Monkeys. I love them. I don't know, but like I literally want to write to John Foley and tell him you need to make a Monkeys, whatever it is, because I love them.
You do that. You reach out to him. Let us know.
I'm going to reach out.
Okay. Let us know. That would be great.
I will.
Maybe Tom would take a class. Would you take a class? Would you take a class if they did it?
Probably not.
Because she could use that as leverage with Mr. Foley.
I don't want to sway. Like I have to remain impartial.
I see.
So they need to choose because the monkeys are wonderful, not to get to me.
I see.
Because I'm sure they give a shit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Probably, but I'll try. I'll reach out.
Okay. What about the guide? The guide coming out. Do you have any thoughts about that? Any feelings? Anything?
The thing is with Peloton to me is like, basically it's like the bike and the tread. I mean, because we have our tonal, right? Like you have so I feel like a lot of people are like doing that. I think that people will use, because you're talking about the new strength thing that's coming out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I think people will use it. Like my friend that I had told you about, she's always trying new things. I know for sure she will. I think that people will use it, but I don't think it's going to be as such of a hot commodity as like the tread.
Yeah. Personally, I agree with that. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Okay. And we'll continue with the interview, but if anything comes back, like if you feel any feelings, feel free to.
I'll let you know too, because that happens. Sometimes if I'm on the spot, it's like, oh my gosh. But then sometimes just things like come into my mind.
It's like when someone tells Tom to be funny, he can't.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, pressure.
I know. You just, sometimes it just happens and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. You're like, well, now what? What am I supposed to? Waka waka.
Of course, waka waka makes me giggle,
God.
so that'll work. So now for people who don't know, what's your leaderboard name?
My leaderboard name is Fit Mom Erica.
So do you want to know something funny that I always see your name, and you know what I always think it says, and I have to do a double take?
What?
Fit Mom of America.
People say that to me, and I'm like, did I change my name?
No, it's great. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just your brain wants to make patterns. And so it's like Fit Mom America. Like every time I see it, that's what I think. And I'm like, nope, that's Erica.
Yep. So many people have said that to me. And I'm like, but I can't change it now because I'm in too deep. They know me, the instructors, I guess, I hope.
Well, they do. And I mean, if you're DMing them, they know you. And you have the Instagram name the same too. So like you really can't change it.
Got to maintain your branding.
Exactly. You can't go changing that. You'd have to change everything. So
exactly.
That's too much stress. So was that just because like you're a fit mom and your name's Erica? Was there anything else to that?
That wasn't even my that wasn't even my Peloton name. That I had as my Instagram name because a lot on my page, I do a lot of fitness stuff. And at the time I was teaching and training. And so people would always go to my page and they would try different workouts. Sometimes I would do live workouts. So it just kind of stuck. And then when I was with Peloton, I'm like, I'm just going to use the same name. Like, I don't want to confuse anybody. Right. So I just stuck with that name. And then here we are.
That's awesome. I like that Instagram informed Peloton instead of the other way around. Yeah. We don't hear that often. And what about instructors? Like you've named a few. Which would you consider as your all-time favorite?
So like my bestie that I love that like I would love to go out and like just have like a martini with is Selena. I love Selena.
She's so great.
She's just, I just love her. And I definitely am part of like the Selena squad. You might find me on that as a hashtag. Another instructor who I love is Maddie Giacomo.
Oh my gosh, Maddie is the best. I love Maddie so much. His energy, I don't care how bad of a day I am having. If I take one of his classes, I am laughing by the end. It's amazing
like
what
dying.
He does.
Like he's just, so I mean, I love them all, but those two, just I could have any type of day, just like a day not like I don't feel like doing anything. I put them on and it's like, all right, we're going. Let's go.
That's funny that they're both runners that really push you in that way. Now, do you have like a favorite on the bike as well?
On the bike, I love so many. I love Maddie Wilpers is like my secret boyfriend. Even though I'm married, I just like love him. He's like a little Care Bear, I love him. So he's one person who I like tend to take a lot of classes with, but who else? Robin and Tunde. I just think they're just like Robin's energy is just, I can't. And Tunde is just dope. I love her.
Tunde, she's another one that no matter how bad of a day you're having, you come out not necessarily laughing like I do with Maddie, but like feeling like you can accomplish anything. Like she just makes you feel like so empowered by the end of a class. She's fabulous. Yes. Gosh.
Exactly.
So many great instructors.
So do you have any advice for people that are just entering the world of Peloton?
Oh my gosh, like they don't even know what they're in for. Like, are they ready? Because it's just like, so I just feel like they just need to, they might be nervous, right? Like every new person is with Peloton because of the leaderboard. They're scared. What if I'm not where I'm supposed to be? I think new people need to just shut that off, slide it away, bye-bye, and start off slow and do their own thing and take as many different people's classes as you can, because that's how you're going to find out like who you love and who drives you.
I think that's really good advice. Definitely.
So I think that's super important. And, you know, it's all about consistency. You just show up, you get better.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Very good advice.
Absolutely. So, well, thank you so much for taking time out of your holiday to join us.
Thank you.
We're recording this
Anytime.
right before Christmas Eve. So
yeah, it's the eve of Christmas Eve.
Yes.
It's the eve of Christmas Eve. Yep.
So before we let you go, remind everybody like where they can find you in all the various places.
All right, y'all. So you can all find me at Fit Mom Erica. I'll spell it for you. FITMOMERICA on Instagram. That's basically where I am. Or on the leaderboard, same thing. Fit Mom Erica, high five me. I'll high five you back. And that's about it.
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I hope you guys have a great holiday.
You too.
Clip out.
So I guess that brings this episode to a close. What, pray tell, do you have in store for people next week?
We have a very special interview next week. You might remember a while back we talked about the show. Remind me of how to say the name. I always say it in the wrong order.
The Sex Life of College Girls.
Yes. Well, one of the showrunners, the writer of the show, Justin Noble, is a huge Peloton fan, and he is joining us. So I'm very excited about that interview. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I should say, too, I misspoke. It's Sex Lives of College Girls.
Sex Lives.
Right, because there's more than one girl, and there's more than one girl with a sex life.
Yes.
So
yes.
I guess it would be kind of a boring show if there was only one girl with a sex life. I'm just saying. But yeah, and we talk about his show. We talk about him working with Mindy Kaling. We talk about, is it Kaling? I always feel like I say it wrong.
I think it's Kaling.
And we also talk about how that title makes you feel weird when you Google it.
Yep. Yep.
Got to do some explaining to your wife sometimes is why you're Googling college girls and sex. So I'm really glad they finally came out with a show called that. Thank you, Justin. So until next week, where can people find you?
People can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Crystal D. O'Keefe. They can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and anywhere on the Peloton leaderboard at ClipOutCrystal.
And you can find me on Twitter at Roger Kubert or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. You can find the show online, facebook.com/The Clip Out. While you're there, like the page, join the group, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch all these in HD glory. And also, sometimes when the show's delayed, the YouTube channel comes out first.
That's true.
Just a little tip buried here at the very end of the show where nobody listens.
No one will ever hear it.
So anyway, that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, keep pedaling.
And running.
Clip in.